It's the end of the year for these two teams. It's the end of an era for a couple of All Blacks, a couple of legends as well. Sam Cane and TJ Perenara making their final bout in black. It's going to be an emotional evening this weekend in Turin when Italy play New Zealand. But what about the actual rugby on the pitch? That's what I'm going to focus on. My thoughts on the teams which have been announced. I've got a combined 23-man squad to assess how you think this game might be going. I mean, come on, we all know how this game's going. But your thoughts in the comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up, and I would love it if I would earn your subscription. It's a really good Italian lineup, except for a couple of injuries to some key men. It is fully loaded for Italy. So with that in mind, a fully loaded team in front of their own crowd, national pride, the might of the All Blacks coming to town. They're going to be up for it and on their game. I'm going for the All Blacks by about 60 points. I mean, what else are you going to predict for this match? I was at the Rugby World Cup pool match last September or October. Anyway, I remember it well. The night in Lyon. I'm sure it's a night many Italian fans would want to forget. 96 points to 17 on that occasion. I can only think. I'll come to the All Blacks selection in a minute, but I can only think that the New Zealand players were just really annoyed that they didn't manage to break that 100-point barrier, because they've obviously said to Scott Robertson, please play the strongest team you can. I'll get to them in a minute. Well, Gonzalo Quesada, he has named the strongest team that he can, albeit captain Michele Lamaro is out. Actually, there's no Lorenzo Canoni. I'm assuming he's out injured as well. And yeah, Louis Liner on the wing, is he injured? Because you've got Truja coming in. I mean, it's a good team, and they've got some really good players. That Garbisi, Menoncello, Brex is a nice little midfield axis. They've got boys that will hit rocks all day long, like Seb Negri. Ross Vincent's been playing very well. Wasn't the most convincing performance against Georgia last weekend, was it? Georgia was so up for that game. Italy had loads of possession, didn't quite convert into points. And you have to, when you're playing the All Blacks. It doesn't matter what team you are, you have to score minimum 25, probably more than 30 points in most occasions to beat New Zealand, because they will score, and they're going to score lots of points against Italy, I'm afraid. Just to highlight that, so I mentioned I was at the game in Lyon, 96 points to 17. I actually went to a game in Rome, must have been like 2018, and it was 66 points to 3 on that occasion to New Zealand. The average score over the last 5 matches between these two teams is 64-10 to New Zealand, with the total points over those 5 games, 49 points over 5 games for Italy, and 319 points for New Zealand. Sometimes there are matchups which work for teams, and for some reason Italy against France, that matchup always seems to work. And I know France beat New Zealand narrowly last week, but this is just one of those matchups that does not work. And I wonder if it's going to be one of those occasions where Italy will be beaten before they even step on the field, because they probably have an idea of what's coming their way. Hey, I would love for this video to be flagged up and said, look how ridiculous a comment that is. I would love for Italy to really put in a performance. Let's see, because they're up against New Zealand, who look like, yes, they've got some rotation involved, but pretty much that is, I mean, I would imagine most All Black fans would be quite happy to see that in a game against South Africa or Ireland or France. It is a serious team. Cody Taylor and Tyrell Lomax are in the front row. Ethan de Groot there off the naughty step. You've got Petrok Tuapolotu, who has been brilliant from the bench, getting a starting job, because Tupu Vai, oh no, it was Finau that got the knock, wasn't it? Tupu Vai is onto the bench, so they're just changing around. Wallace Satiti, Sam Cane, Ardi Savia is an amazing back row. Balance, pace, and arguably, with Cane over Finau, who's out through the concussion because he tried to tackle Tavita Tatafu's knee. Don't do that. That would be one of my takeaways from last week. Don't tackle 150 kilo monster's knee if you can possibly help it. Anyway, he's out. Arguably, New Zealand have got even more of a threat at the breakdown. And just on Sam Cane, just his final game for the All Blacks, he had the hardest job in rugby union, following one of, if not the best ever to do it, from the man who was the captain of one of, if not the best ever teams to do it. He had a thankless task, and he was always going to be compared to Richie. And 104 caps for the All Blacks. You have to be a serious rugby player to do that. So fair play. 104 and out in Turin. Have a great night before you head back to New Zealand, and enjoy the rest of your career, Sam Cane. Same for TJ Perenara off the bench. It's good to see Cam Roygaard getting some more minutes under his belt. And one final lead of the haka. Has there ever been a person, well, actually, who has led the haka best over the years? Buck Shelford back in the day, the way he revolutionised the way the haka is done. But there's something about a TJ haka you just love. And this one is going to be a little bit emotional. Just in general on New Zealand, I think Scott Robertson struggled to find his combinations early in his tenure. And whether that was back row, whether that was the half-back combos, who's the full-back, who should be on the wing, he sort of struggled to find the combinations, struggled to get to adjust to how to use his bench effectively in international level. I will say that he's got so much better through 2024. Some of that is by luck rather than judgment, because some of the changes he's made have been forced upon him due to injury. But New Zealand are ending 2024 in a much better place than they started. And I think you can feel some momentum being generated. Now you've got Satiti, an automatic pick in the back row. You've got D-Mac. I think everyone can accept now 23 is his perfect shirt. Will Jordan at 15. By the way, Will Jordan playing against Italy. That means he's going to get his try-scoring record back up again to a try a game or better, because he hasn't been quite as prolific in this November series. So yeah, New Zealand are getting there, and they have that's an excellent team. Geordie Barrett is out injured, so Anton Linnett-Brown is alongside Rico Ioane, David Havili on the bench. Yeah, I don't know. It's about as strong a team as New Zealand can select, isn't it? Mark Tele is back in. Yeah, I'd be happy with that if I were an All Black fan. As for a combined 23-man squad, I almost don't want to put this up. I almost feel like I'm trolling Italy with it. I'm not. That's an objective selection based on everyone that's available. There's an argument that Juan Ignacio Brex should go in ahead of Rico Ioane at 13. Rico's such an incredible physical specimen. Still not convinced by him as a centre, but I'd have him in my team. Might have him on the wing, but yeah, other than that, sorry, Italy. Michele Lamaro might have got in at 7 if he was fit. But 22 out of the 23 men I've got from New Zealand, and to be honest, Anton Linnett-Brown's not too shabby, is he? So yeah, that's just the sad reality for Italy. Brilliant year that they've had, and hopefully they can finish it strongly. They had a great Six Nations, a draw and 2 wins, their best ever performance. Can they finish strongly? Finishing strongly will probably be keeping New Zealand to within 30 points, and then they should probably regard that as a success. I feel like I'm having a pop at Italy. I'm really not. I'm not at all. It's just one of those matchups that just doesn't seem to work for the men in blue. We will see, won't we? Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your support on the channel. If you haven't already, I would love it if I would earn your subscription. And I want to see what you've got to say down below.